Over in the GameFace MPNFL first and second division footy shows. It's finals edition. Great to be here for Spheres Locker. My name is Dan Lonigan. Chris Holcomb, great to have you with us. Tony Blackford, great to have you with us as well.
Got the old band back.
Yeah,
Dan,
we've got the whole band back together,
whiz.
all on our own at the moment. We'll have some guests joining us a little bit later. As you can see, we've got a spare seat. Someone will be joining us a bit later. We'll tell you who that is when it gets a little bit closer. But plenty to talk about. Two coaches move on from their duties in Division 1. We'll tell you all about that. Shane McDonald takes over on RJ Rowley Reserve in Division 1.
What a quarter.
For Rye. Absolutely outstanding. Who thought they had that in them, Bond Beach? They were magnificent. Dramana booked themselves a second semi-final spot in Division 1. Terry Wheeler to join us later on the show. On the panel. Mark Holt kicks 11 for Coringa. What a performance by the big fellow as Coringa keep alive their finals chances. And Aaron Edwards faces the Tribunal tonight in what was a controversial match against Dramana in the qualifying final in First Division. We'll have surprise dial-ins from Division 1 and Division 2 players also later in the program. And as I say, tonight is a live show from Dandenong South, so we want our viewers to get involved as well. It's finals time. So make sure, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get your game face on. Thanks to Pettis Suspension and Brakes, Wayne Cap exits Frankston YCW, one of the nicest guys in footy, gentlemen. He told his players after the match that he would be resigning. They were blown away. They were shell-shocked. 58-1 Hulks in the first quarter. What a performance by Bond Beach. I, for one, certainly didn't think they had that in
I didn't see it coming. And Hulks, all year we've been saying that Bomb Beach has got a list.
They have the side.
They have got a good side, haven't they?
They just need to gel.
Yeah, and they've gelled at the right time of the year.
Well, we always talk about it, and the sides that are sort of the lower end and they compete and all that sort of stuff, but it's the better players that drag you over the line. Finals time, that's all it's about. If you've got that top-end talent that are on fire.
Well, McDonald, LaFontaine didn't play.
No, he was ill. That was very unfortunate for them.
Yeah, so he pulled out, and then getting Gill and Gent back from the VFL.
Gent changes them.
Yeah.
He does. He adds that class through that midfield. But Maccash, he's been probably the best one or two players in the comp for the last 10 years. So there's no surprises that he can do that. Like you saw the interleague game, you saw that, what he's capable of, some of the best.
Have they got to reinvent themselves now?
Yeah, well, he does.
have they got to reinvent themselves, YCW? They're an ageing team, aren't they? You don't think so?
No, I don't. We said 2 or 3 months ago that they were cooked because they were. They were stuffed.
Their last month was good.
They started to change around, but when you get into finals and you're playing that elimination final, they're all good sides, and you're going to come up against a McDonald and that sort of thing, and they can turn it on. It's so hard to win 4 in a row to get to that grand.
I didn't think that Bomb Beach would do what they did, and talking to some people close to Bomb Beach, they said that that's the best that they've seen for a long, long time.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, John Anderson, the CEO of AFL South East, he was there for the second half of the second division final on Sunday at Mornington. He spent the first half down at Ryan. He said the way that Bond Beach moved the footy in the first quarter was a sight to behold. It was sensational.
That's right. They got the players. The VFL listed player DJ was on fire. He's had a great second half of the year. Gent obviously got a heap of the ball. Verma's a great player. Jackson Casey's one of the better two-way runners on the peninsula. They've got Trent and Aslan on the side, Gil Renouf through. They've got some really, really good players, but they just haven't been able to gel, but they did it on the weekend, which is great.
And Wayne Cap, I mean, I just want to say what a great bloke he is. He's been wonderful for GameFace. He's done a lot for the competition.
But he's been wonderful for the YC Football Club. He's had a journey along the way where he's been an understudy and he's eventually got the top job, and he's coached them for 3 years.
Yep.
What do they need? Do they need to go outside the square and get someone from who's not a Frankston YCW person? They tend to like their own people, don't they?
And they do.
They do. And it hasn't worked. It hasn't been bad for them over the last 20
No,
years.
it hasn't.
They've had a program. They've got a wonderful program where...
But is the competition changing? The competition's changing, isn't it? Because it's not like it was in regard to they were the best team in the peninsula for a long time. It's now first and second division footy. Would it be better for them if they went outside the square? Now, I know that Mornington are all over Mark Bagley. He's just announced his retirement after 134 games. There's an example of someone who got the most out of his ability, former Frankston player and Lang Warren Jr., and he's retired from the Bombers. And
2005, he played in the Lang Warren Premiership.
He did, and I think you'll find that he'll be back on the Mornington Peninsula. Do they need someone like that, or do they need, again, to look within their own nest?
They've got one floating around because obviously they were looking at Khan, who was on their list, but playing at Port Melbourne. They need a ruckman. once they get that, then they can free up some others to go forward, which will fix their forward line problem. But they had a lot of injuries too this year. And, I mean, there's not many things that they're missing. No. In terms of pieces of the puzzle. But when you're up for that long in the second half of the year, it's hard to maintain.
Now, Graham Yates is gone as well. I wouldn't say, and you're right, Blake, as you said it beforehand, I think we were going to say that he was going to be sacked or has been sacked. He hasn't been sacked. No. They've just not reappointed him. 5 years is a good run. They had a poor year this year. What do they need, do you think, boys?
Well, they need a fresh.
Yeah, they probably need somebody fresh, and he's been there for 5 years. And look, they've got a great list.
Yeah, we said that all year, that they just didn't gel. The young kids go all right. Nick Carlin is one of the best backs in the
Bussey's had a fantastic second half.
So you've got your pillars up each end. You've got Mannix through the guts.
They need a bit of pace on the outside, don't they, Hogs?
Yeah, well, you look at Martello and Flavel and all those guys. They're quick. So there's not a huge amount they need to change. Will Monaghan and those guys go on again. Dorr, that'll be up to the new coach and obviously the playing list. But I don't think there's too many. They don't need to reinvent the wheel. They might just get a few little pieces here and there, but I still rate their list. I still think.
And I think that they've gone about it the right way, Dan. They've stuck fat with him all year. They've been united, and at the end of the year, they've gone separate ways.
So 3 clubs need new coaches now: YCW, Mount Eliza, 4.
Bomb Beach.
Bomb Beach. Well, they've got Trent Dennis-Lane, haven't they? He'll be on his own, will he not?
No, I'm not sure if because initially
has Hughesy given it away.
He has given it away.
Hughesy was going to at the end of this year.
Yeah, and that was part of the reason what the transition.
Yeah, with Trent. But apparently, what we're hearing, and I might be wrong, but what we're hearing was Trent might not want to do it for next year.
So they might be on the market.
Right? Yeah. I think that he might still play on, but I don't think he wanted to coach outright.
So
just scared him off.
There's going to be a huge change within the comp, which is exciting, isn't it?
It is, and it's right that the clubs get it right. I mean, they'll go through their process that they do, but it's so important because you want this coach to be there for the next 2, 3, 4 years as a minimum to set your new culture.
Foundation.
100%. So,
did you mention Mount Eliza was another club that?
Correct. Yeah, they're looking. They haven't made a decision as yet, but they've been looking for a few weeks. They've had an opportunity to look for a few weeks, of course, with Nick Carringbold being told that his services wouldn't be continued on with 4 or 5 weeks to go, and Shane Tennant took the job on, but I don't think Shane will be doing it full time.
No, I heard the same thing.
Yes, so we'll just keep a close eye on that.
But that's important because Mount Eliza finished, they finished 3rd last year.
Yeah.
And let's just say that the committee were right and that it didn't work out.
And the under-19s and reserves are still going pretty well. They've got plenty of depth
my
there.
understanding was that they were going through a rebuild in a sense. No. Blooding all these young kids.
That was a lot of other people's opinion. It wasn't the opinion of the Mount Eliza committee. They thought they had a side to win it this year.
Well, they never had that.
Well, this is what their thought
at the start of the year, Hulks, you said that there would be one side that would slide, and that would be Mount Eliza.
Yeah.
Now, boys, controversial game at Rosebud on Saturday. Myself and Nick Jewell called it for GameFace. Thanks to Ambience Events and Catering. Game, the team do an outstanding job. Aaron Edwards yellow carded on the weekend, sent off by the boundary umpire. The tribunal is tonight. Now, I would have thought that he has to be suspended, but we've seen a situation where a Rosebud player was also yellow carded and wasn't suspended. So if they're going for a precedence like that, he can't be suspended, but then why was he yellow carded?
No, he can be suspended. It's whether or not you want to take the 2 weeks or whether or not if it's worthy of reporting or...
Did you see the incident, Dan?
I didn't see the incident. But then again, if they've yellow carded him, I would have thought he's in trouble, is he not?
No, it's just a reportable offence. It's just a standard report, isn't it?
So, Dan, on that occasion, there was 3 field umpires, Rosé?
Correct.
3, yep. Not one of them saw it?
Not one of them saw it, and not one of them said that it was a reportable offence because they didn't see it.
Well, they didn't see it. So then how does it get reversed?
Oh, the free kick.
How does that? Yeah.
Well, correct. That's a very good point. That's the point that Paddy Swain has been making, and he's serious about that because for those that don't know, Bo Henry took a mark. Now it was an acute angle. Whether he would have kicked it, with the greatest respect to the great man, I still think it's slightly problematic. He was hard on the boundary, tucked in the forward pocket on about a 45-degree angle, 25, 30 metres out.
He kicks it every day.
It's against the trend if he kicks the goal because they had been certainly the inferior team since quarter time. But they kick that goal, they're 10 points up and they're in a massive position to win the game.
Yep.
Now, the free kick went against him. and then they got it down the other end, and a magnificent goal was kicked by Jay Treep in the pocket. They hit the front, they weren't hit it again, Dramana, and then obviously the shoulders drooped and the heads slumped from Pines. I think Sean White gave away a 50-metre penalty.
Yeah.
He didn't throw the ball back properly to Reece Wild.
Yep.
He kicked a monster with the breeze, and they got their tails up and went on to win the game. But that was the incident that changed the game.
Yep.
And we will talk a little bit later to Brett Gent from the South East Umpires Association. We'll also read a statement as well. In fact, why don't we read that statement now from Carl Fletcher? In fact, no, we'll read it a little bit later because he actually has said that they got it wrong. But we'll talk more about that a little bit later. I mean, that is unfortunate for Pines. It's cost them dearly. It means they've got to do it the hard way. But they've got to forget about it now. Because a few days ago, they got to, if Aaron Edwards is not there, they've got to concentrate trying to win a game of footy and not go out in straight sets.
And Dan, you're right. Pines made a lot of mistakes on the weekend. So did Dramana, and so did the umpires. You know,
correct. We all make mistakes, don't we? And the other bad...
Some more than others, Dan.
Yeah, correct, yes. I'll put my hand up and say I make more than most. Now, Ben Thomas suffered a very bad injury, a broken leg. He was involved in a collision with Jack Fisher in the first quarter. It was an absolute shocker.
Yeah.
And we hope he's okay. I did speak to his sister and family on Saturday night, and he was going through the recovery process, but obviously he's gone for the season. He's such a reliable player and has been a reliable member of that team for quite a while. And Bo Cosson... We know Dramana were very angry about this in the rooms, despite having an outstanding win where they went away from a grand final after doing a great job in coming up from second division last year and winning the premiership. What a performance it's been. But Bo Cosson allegedly had his finger bitten from Dramana.
That's a rumour.
And they were furious about that.
That's a rumour.
One of his teammates, was it?
It wasn't one of his teammates.
So.
We know it wasn't one of his teammates.
That's
and you know it wasn't one of his teammates.
Well, I was just asking the question, Dan.
It's not a good look on the game, Dan.
No,
we
it's
don't
not.
like to see that, but it happened and we get on with it. Dramana took the points and that's all they care about.
Well, that's
His
exactly
finger's
right.
still on, isn't it?
I think
He'll be
so.
right to play next week?
Yeah, he'll be playing. No doubt he'll be playing. Try and keep him away, I would have thought, is the rumour I heard amongst the players. And the whole team's playing well. They were great. And we'll talk more about that shortly. But Sam Fowler hardly touched it.
Yeah.
Sam Gertz is on the way back from injury. It was a great win. Now, after the break, we're going to be talking to one of the greats. He's returning for Pines. He's been ill. He's been in hospital, but he's out. I reckon he's lost about 7 kilos. I'm sure he would be too happy about that. He'd be eating everything that moves over the last couple of days. A great Tim Pongetti, and he'll join us after this in our live footy show for GameFace. Get your finals GameFace on, if you know.
Rob Morrison, I'm General Manager of the Frankston RSL. We are located on 183 Cranbourne Road, which is right above Jubilee Park. We are a RSL which obviously has two parts to the business, which is the commemorative welfare side of it and the commercial side of the business. We, in the commercial side, look after many things here in the way of food options, beverage options, entertainment, gaming, TAB and Keno. We're a community club, community orientated. We look after community. We employ 120 local people and we get a lot of support from within our 15,000 members that we have here, and we continue to grow each year. We also are very big in functions and entertainment. We look forward to anybody visiting our club.
Welcome back. We're live at our Dandenong South studio. GameFace's MPNFL First and Second Division Finals Footy Show. Preliminary final coming up in Second Division with Red Hill already in the grand final. It's Langwarren up against Coringal, and we've got the first and second semi-finals in First Division. Dramana doing battle with Sorrento, the winner through to the grand final, and then Pines, the reigning premiers, battle with Bomb Beach. The loser out, the winner will march on to a preliminary final. It's a great pleasure to welcome a man who's been out of the Pine side for a few weeks. He has been ill, he's been in hospital, he's been battling, but he's back and he's no doubt chomping at the bit to play this week. He's one of our favourites on GameFace, one of the favourites at the Pines Footy Club, one of the favourites in the competition. I don't know how many more accolades I can give him. Tim Bongetti. Welcome,
one
Bongo.
Of Dan's favourites.
One of my favourites. G'day, Bongo. How you going?
G'day, Dan. Thanks for that, mate.
Oh, he loves you, Bongo. He loves you.
I'm terrific. Now, more importantly, how are you? We know you've been ill. I think you lost about 7 kilos. Now, knowing you've been working pretty hard to get that back. Have you got it all back on yet?
I don't know, because I don't own scales. I don't actually want to know how heavy I was previously, but yeah, when I was in hospital, mate, they weighed me at the start when I first went in, and when I left last week, I was about 8.5 kilo lighter. So I reckon I've put a couple back on just through water and a little bit of food now, so we'll see how we go.
Bit of barley belly, Bongo.
Oh, I wish it was that simple.
So, what's actually happened, Bongo? Tell everyone.
So a couple of weeks ago, before our Rosebud game, on the Friday, I was a little bit ill at work, just with some chest pains. Got home and had a bit of a vomit, and it was actually pretty black, so it was a bit of internal bleeding.
Gee.
Usually that'd have been a night on the bourbons with him, mate.
Yeah, it might have been. It was a busy night on Thursday. So I went to the doctors, and he gave me some stuff, and I rang Paddy on the Saturday and said, Paddy, I don't think I'm going to be available, mate. I'm not too well. And he pretty much told me, you can't say that because you're playing no matter what. So I ended up having to play. So I played on the Saturday, and once I was out there, I actually felt pretty good. Obviously, the adrenaline kicked in, and then on the way home, I was with my old man, and I wasn't too well. Tried to go home and have a bit of a sleep, and then took myself to hospital on the Sunday morning at 2 a.m. and stayed in there for a week.
Gee.
Popped out for the weekend against Sorrento, and then went back in again straight after pretty much the Sorrento game. And they did a lot of tests, and it was pretty scary for a little bit, just because the unknown. I was doing so many different tests, and they bring that C word into things, and you're laying there in a hospital bed without answers, and they've actually put it down to I've got a blocked bile duct, so I'm not producing any bile down into my stomach at the minute, so I can't break down food properly.
Yeah.
And so I'm on a very strict diet by the specialist for a couple of weeks until she can get in there and have a look, and eventually down the track there may be a bit of surgery, but she's giving me the all clear if I can get through training, and all the match committee selectors put my name up for selection.
How are the energy levels, mate? Because that'd have to drain you, and obviously trying to cover some ground.
Yeah, well, with losing that weight, I guess I was laying in a hospital bed for 2 weeks pretty much.
Yeah.
So your strength, yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely very flat when I got into the game against Sorrento. I actually did a little interview with Plugger and a few of the boys that day, and just before that, I was leaning against the fence, and I was actually pretty dizzy, to be honest. I was just because I hadn't had any food in me for a week and low on the fluids and stuff like that. So that's pretty much what my week now is consisting of, is just getting some stuff back into me, so I can put the weight back on, but also I've actually got the nutrients to get me through.
Bongo, have you said anything to Paddy? Has Paddy said anything to you? Is he a bit embarrassed that obviously he didn't know, but that he said you had to play?
Oh, look, at the end of the day, if I had said to him, look, I'm 100%, I'm out, he would have obviously taken that on board. He said, I've kind of got to play. We had another couple of blokes pull out the night before, both being crook, and he kind of said, Bongo, look, we've had 2 other blokes pull out. We need you, so is there kind of any chance? And I went, look, I can come down. I'll come down, and I'll see how I go getting down there. And we get down there just before the 2s. And I said, once I get down there, if I'm feeling all right, then I'll play. And mate, I can't help myself. So once I got there, I was like, well, I've already made the hour and 20-minute trip, so I might as well play.
You might have a bit of work to do this week, mate. If the tribunal doesn't go your way, you might have to cover a bit more ground. Your partner in crime up against it tonight. Did you happen to see the incident at all?
I had no idea what was going on, but I knew once, mate, it actually happened to me a couple of years ago where a boundary umpire came out. I don't know if you guys remember at Chelsea. I got the similar thing, a yellow card from an incident that happened well and truly minutes earlier. So I had no idea, but once I saw the boundary umpire walk onto the ground, I went, something's happened here, and then he walked to Azar, and I knew we were in a bit of trouble, but I haven't actually seen the footage or seen anything to do with it. I spoke to Aaron Tuesday night. He's obviously, as you would be, a little bit stressed over it, but he's pretty confident. There wasn't a hell of a lot involved. Their player didn't really remonstrate or do anything. And
Dan reckons you'll get off.
Kind of went on with the game pretty well. So, but you never know. Once you get into that room and you sit in front of that panel, you never ever know.
You don't, do you?
Are you slightly concerned, Bongo, that the team are not concentrating enough on what's lying ahead this week, that they're more worried about what has happened a few days ago? It's all happened. I mean, the tribunal will occur. What happens, happens. You've got a big game of footy here to keep your season alive. Do you need to concentrate more on what's happening coming up instead of what's happened in the past?
I can put it back to, we go 12 months ago, and I reckon we had probably a bigger incident occur, and I guess that's a good thing Paddy does, mate. He would have picked the side last night probably without Aaron in it, and going in tomorrow night, he would probably still have Aaron not in the side, so he prepares what lies ahead or what lies ahead without Aaron. Thinking worst case scenario, and I guess we all do the same. Like last night, yes, there was folks talking about it, and there might have been in the back of everyone's mind thinking about it. But at the end of the day, you were correct in saying that it's pretty much do or die this week. So if some of the boys aren't focused and they're worried about Aaron at the minute, their heads are in the wrong spot.
Well, you've got a pretty good record against Bomb Beach as it is. I mean, the last 5 years they've only got up once. It was at Chelsea,
and the last time. Against Bomb Beach at Bomb Beach, yourself and Aaron Edwards didn't play.
Yeah, so you've obviously got confidence against this opposition that you can get the job done. Is that the case, mate?
Look, we're confident that even last week, we should have probably won the game last week, so we're pretty confident going into any game that we're still the
best is your
team to beat.
Yep.
Did you see much of Bomb Beach on the weekend? Did you ever see any clips, or did you go down and watch, or anything like that?
I didn't go down and watch. I spent the day at home with the family because I hadn't seen it for a couple of weeks. But I definitely watched a few little clips and stuff like that, and actually had a little bit of a chat with our mate Macca, and asked him a few questions about did he actually take his own footy or was he
He does.
He loves that Rosebud ground.
He loves to step up. He does love the Rosebud ground.
Appreciate it, Bongo. Great to catch up with you, mate. I'm glad you're on the mend. A little bit concerned about, obviously, your health overall, but obviously it's getting better, and we hope you're out there playing for Pines on the weekend. Big game of footy. Good luck, and as usual, we always thank you for your time on GameFace.
Thank you very much, and hopefully I'll see you down there on the weekend.
Good luck, mate.
We'll be there. Good on you. Tim Bongetti, he'll be back wearing those green and red colours of Pines this weekend. He's been unwell, and he's getting better, which is absolutely fantastic for Pines, and they certainly need him, especially if Aaron Edwards goes to the tribunal tonight and gets suspended. This is the GameFace Footy Show. We're live from our South Dandenong studio. Dan Lonigan, Tony Blackford and Chris Holcomb. Thanks to SPT Performance. Talking of Bond Beach, one of their superstars is Lockie Gill. He was a star in their absolute spifflication, I love that word, the late Drew Morfitt word of Frankston YCW last week, and they take on Pines in the first semi-final on the weekend, and Lockie Gill will join us next, thanks to SPT Performance on the GameFace Footy Show.
Hi, I'm Fraser Bain, and this is Kane Luff. We're directors of O'Brien Real Estate in Mornington. A pretty exciting story. On the 1st of February this year, two businesses came together, being O'Brien Real Estate Mornington and Conley Luff, which is a very well-established brand in the Mornington market. Together, Kane and I merged, and we bought the business was formerly known as Ray White, now to make us the #1 listing and sales agency in the Mornington region.
This is the GameFace Footy Show, first and second division. We're live, and it's a great pleasure to welcome Lockie Gill from Bond Beach. I think most of us have written off Bond Beach, but fantastic last week. Welcome, Lockie. Good to have you with us.
Thank you very much for having me. It's good to be here.
What a performance. Did you think you had that performance in you? When I saw the scores at quarter time, 58-1, I had to look at it again and thought, what have we got here? It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was bloody good. I wasn't playing the week before when we had the loss against them, but coming into training, so I had a full week of training with them, and they were pretty confident. They knew, obviously, they had a few coming back. DJ, our big ruckman, didn't play. Mitch Gent as well, myself were coming back. So we were going into that game.
So on paper, you looked a lot stronger?
Yeah, absolutely. There was, I think 4 of us. Gaz, I think Gary Carpenter didn't play much of the game the week before, and DJ didn't play, and we know what he can do when he turns it on. So we were going into the game with confidence, and I think we were kind of hoping that Frankston were doing the opposite, thinking that they've just won by 8 goals the week before.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're thinking it's just going to be the same.
Happens quite a lot, doesn't it?
We're looking at YC too. You're just as bad as everyone else. You're talking about flags from a side that's playing an elimination final. Everyone's going, these blokes can win it, these blokes can win it.
Well, the last month have been very good. Mind you, Wayne Cap said to me he's never been more nervous for a football match in his life.
Were they focused further on in the final series than Bun Beach?
Knowing Wayne Cap, I don't think they were. I certainly don't think they were.
Because no one, during the year, obviously, you guys playing some good footy in patches, but against those top 4 sides or top 5 sides, whatever it been, every single challenge that you went, you hadn't fired a shot.
Yeah.
And we all said how good a list it was, especially with you back and Genty and things like that. But no one.
Well, just getting us all back together in the one time, and on the weekend, like I said on air earlier, I've got a lot of friends at Bond Beach, and they said that was the best that they've seen you play.
Now, Macca kicked 3 in the first quarter, and he just turned it on. What were you thinking at quarter time? You've come in at quarter time, 58-1. How do you remain focused after a quarter like that? I mean, the game's not over, but you're in a very good position.
It was tough because we went into that, like in the first quarter, the break, we were absolutely buzzing. And it took a few of the leaders just to go, boys, like, settle down. Settle down, like, we've still got 3 quarters to play. We knew there was a bit of a wind, which it wasn't a 9-goal wind, but we knew it was there. And obviously Frankston were going to come, but we were up and about, so we wanted to just take that in. And Hughesy just said, look, don't take the foot off the pedal.
No.
Keep going, which we probably didn't do. In that second quarter, I think we were waiting for them. We were waiting for them to come. We kind of knew that they were going to fire a shot, and we were waiting for that.
Yeah.
But we were stoked with that start.
But you finished it well, though, didn't you? That was important.
Did they try and get into Macca?
Absolutely,
that's the last thing you do in any game of footy when you're playing against Shane McDonald is you try and crank him up. He gets the rage on, and you can't stop him.
Yeah, no, I think it was
How many direct opponents did he have on the weekend?
Oh God, there would have been.
He's a hard matchup. He's just
would have been 3. I think Mac went with him for a little bit, for a fair while. I think.
He acknowledged the crowd at the end too, didn't he?
Yeah, was trying to push him around and do some weird stuff to him. And I mean, at the end of the day, like, if they're putting work into Macca and they're worried about Macca, another one's going to get off. And Jacko Casey, he absolutely riled in that. He just loved it. He got off the chain and started doing his thing. So,
Now, your teammates on the line, Owen Hewlett. Welcome, Owen. Good to have you with us.
Thanks, mate. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
G'day, big fella.
Hey, Gilly. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Good.
How are you feeling? Well. How are you feeling, Owen? It was an unbelievable first quarter of footy. When you came in at quarter time, were you floating on air yourself?
I was pretty focused on the task at hand, to be honest. I had a feeling that, emotions could be pretty high. You don't really play in too many quarters of footy like that. So I think I heard Gilly sort of mention before that it was a few leaders sort of took it upon themselves to settle everyone down. And so I think it was just about remaining focused, and we knew that obviously there was a bit of a breeze there. So it was about, staying focused, and we knew that it was going to change a bit in that second quarter.
What were you doing in the forward line, mate? You're kicking goals these days.
I know, I'm changing it up.
Hey?
It wasn't working down back, so I'm just floating down there and trying to kick a couple of snags.
Hey, can I ask you a serious question?
Yeah.
Has Hughesy ever sprayed Lockie? Because every time that I used to coach against Hughesy, he just said how much he's in love with this kid. And I don't think he'd ever cop a spray. Has he?
Nah, never. He's got his favourites. He won't admit it, but all the young blokes.
He admitted to me. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Every year he had a new one. So one year it was Gilly, one year it was Bo Bailey.
Yeah.
Lockie Stenning was a favourite of his. Mate, he just loves them all. And no surprise that they've all gone through the TAC Cup system as well.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a great character, Lockie Stenning, Owen, isn't he? I mean, he adds vim, vitality to a footy club, no matter which footy club he plays for.
Oh, absolutely. He's just a little ball of energy, that kid. I think Hughesy was saying that, whenever he enters a room, he just sort of peps everyone up, and you can be pretty flat after a full day of work, and you're sort of getting changed. In walks Lockie Stenning, and he's just buzzing around, and he really lifts the joint up. So he's a great bloke to have around the group for sure.
With training this week, you're saying that obviously, do you have a full week with the side this week?
Yeah, so Frankston are done. They were done last week, so I'll be with the boys all week.
Did Casey was Genty there as well or not, or did Casey still go in?
So Casey, Genty was with us on Thursday, and he was going to play with us on the weekend no matter what, but he was waiting to find out what happened with the Box Hill Collingwood game.
Because that'll make a difference too, being able to train full week with the club.
Absolutely.
Especially
as a collective group,
too.
Yeah,
especially with Bomb Beach. You've got a few VFL players and haven't been able to sort of do it for the whole year. And it'd make a difference for you too, obviously, just coming in on a Thursday night or maybe even just on the Saturday. That'd make a huge difference, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it definitely does. It's been tough. And few of the boys have got a joke with me that every time I rock up on a Thursday, they tell me that we've got training on Tuesday as well. I said, I know that. So it has been good. Rocked up, Tuesday, first
How's
Tuesday
your year
for a
at
while.
Frankston been this year?
It was a tough year. I didn't get off to the start I wanted. I didn't play at the start of the year, and then I broke my finger in a game against Mount Eliza, so I was out for 6 or 7 weeks. And I knew I could get into the team. I just needed to put a couple of games together at local, and then I'd get my shot. So eventually I got my shot and stuck it out for the rest of the season. I think I played 6 games.
The back half of the year was pretty consistent, Frankston, wasn't it?
It was good, and it's a tough one. And Danny was stressing that to all of us that we won 1 game and we won 2 last year, but our year this year I thought was a lot better and a lot more consistent.
Yeah,
that's good.
Although it's not
it's
on
a
the
great
board
environment
with
for
wins,
you,
but
mate.
Yeah, it is. It is awesome down there, and the coaches are great. So yeah.
And Owen, tell us about Macca. I mean, I believe at the end he got a bit fired up with the crowd. He was sort of just telling them that winners are grinners, losers can please themselves. He's an inspiration, isn't he?
Oh, he's a legend. He's unreal to play with. And when he gets in a mood like that, you just sort of take a back seat and watch the show. Really enjoy the show. It's pretty phenomenal what he's been able to do over it's probably been around 10 years now. He's just been an unreal player for our club and a great player for the league as well.
And obviously with Pines this week, mate, who's your normal matchup? Do you go to Bongo? Do you go to Aaron? Do you try to free yourself up? Where do you usually go?
I'll probably stay forward this week.
You like the goals?
I don't know if we'll try and change too much. It is a bit different, obviously, Pines with their tall forward line. It does present a bit of a different look for us compared to YC, but I think I'll probably look to stay forward and just see how it all unfolds and try and get on the end of a couple again.
And how do you win the game, Lockie? Other than, of course, kick more goals than them.
I think it's going to come down to pressure, how much pressure we can put them under, and that was the same as on the weekend. We came out absolutely firing, and we call them shark acts, just the pressure acts and the little things, and we'll be doing that again. And if we do that, I reckon we can get them. Yep.
Well, we look forward to it. Thank you, boys. Owen Hewlett on the line and Lockie Gill with us in the studio. Big game for Bomb Beach this week. They were magnificent in ending the season of Frankston YCW last week. They take on Pines in the first semi-final on Sunday. The winner through to a preliminary final. The loser, their season is over. So basically, Bomb Beach knows what to expect after already getting through an elimination last week. Thank you, boys, and good luck on the weekend. Really appreciate you being part of our live program, the first and second division footy show for the MPNFL. We'll be back in a second. Lots to talk about from the umpiring front. Brett Gent from the SUA will join us next.
Hi, I'm Fraser Bain, and this is Kane Luck with the Brian Real Estate in Mornington. A pretty exciting story on the first of February this Brian Real Estate Mornington.
Peninsula Safety is a local family run
established brand in the Mornington market. Together, Kane and I merged, and we bought the business was formerly known as Ray White, now to make us the #1 listing and sales agency in the Mornington region. Comprising of residential sales, residential property management and a burgeoning commercial and leasing business.
Our business is located at 2188 Main Street in Mornington. Our focus areas for business and work is anywhere from Mount Eliza down to Dramana. One
of the core focuses of Brian Real Estate Morning is our property management department. We now have nearly 700 properties under management, ranging from holiday lettings right through to commercial and residential leasings. And our other core focus is our sales, and that's headed up by Kane Luff, who has over 16 years in residential sales across the Mornington region. Kane.
Formerly Conley Luff for 12 years and Stockdale Lego for 12 years before that. My focus has been primarily listing and selling local real estate, now leading the sales team and mentoring the sales team to focus on development, residential sales, and we're fledgling into commercial industrial, which will be our focus in the coming years and months.
Picking up on a Kane's point, one of O'Brien's real core values is facilitating growth, and that's what we see across both our property management team and our sales team.
And welcome back to our live footy show, first and second division footy show. Terry Wheeler's joined us. We'll be speaking to him very shortly, one of the Dramana stars, their skipper, absolutely outstanding in the big win in the qualifying final over the Pines on the weekend. They're into a second semi against their arch rival Sorrento, and can you believe it, the team that won the second division flag last year are one win away from a first division grand final. We'll be broadcasting that game down at Rye on Saturday afternoon. Myself and Hulks can't wait for it, mate. It's going to be absolutely brilliant.
Ring it in.
Bring your A game, mate, because Nick Jewell was great and Glenn Carter was even better on Sunday.
He filled in, did he?
Yeah, he did. I'm no good, but anyway, well, we get over the line. Now, in a second, we'll catch up with Brett Gent, who, of course, is the coach of the AFL Southeast umpires, but a statement has come from Carl Fletcher, the AFL Southeast Director of Umpiring, regarding the controversial ending to the match last week in the fourth quarter when Pines were in front by 4 points. Beau Henry took a mark in the forward pocket. He was having a shot at goal. And then there was a decision given against Aaron Edwards for allegedly striking. He'll face the tribunal, as was spoken about tonight, and he was given a yellow card and the decision was reversed. This is the statement. During the fourth quarter of the MPNFL Division 1 qualifying final between Pines and Dramana at Rosebud on Saturday, August 24th, Pines player Aaron Edwards was reported for striking by a boundary umpire. The boundary umpire correctly took the action to inform the field umpire at the next break in play of the report. The field umpire then correctly took the action to have the boundary umpire advise Edwards of the report, and the field umpire then issued a yellow card. The field umpires then made the decision to pay a free kick to Dramana due to a report being made. This, unfortunately, was an incorrect decision. When a boundary or goal umpire make a report, the field umpire can only send the player from the field. The field umpire, having not seen the incident, can't pay a free kick. The matter has been discussed with the umpires involved to provide coaching and learning, and will be reinforced to all umpires at training. Yours sincerely, Carl Fletcher, Regional Director of Umpiring, AFL South East. We have Brett Gent on the line from the Southern Umpires Association, or South East Umpires Association. He's the coach. Brett, appreciate your time. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, no worries, boys. Thanks for having me.
Well, is it embarrassing that this has happened?
It's not a great look, I can tell you that right now. I've had a few phone calls regarding this incident. It's something from senior level of football probably should have been handled a lot better. Unfortunately, it wasn't. But these guys will be probably dealt with in-house, and obviously they'll be notified. They have been touched on, have been spoken to, but we'll, as I said in the letter, we will address the whole group again tonight about this procedure. So,
Genty, it's Hulks, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, buddy. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Hey, how often would a boundary umpire report a player? Like, it's not a common practice, so it's not something that pops up every day, is it?
No, it's not. It's probably more the scenario of. It's funny you say that, Hawks, because there's such young kids that do the boundary umpiring. Sometimes they get a little bit, intimidated.
Yeah.
By reporting plays. So it's it is one of the. It was actually a little bit bizarre because we sort of touched base on this probably a couple of times throughout the season. I think it happened not that long ago, where the scenario where a goal umpire had a report, but and then obviously the report from last week. From the Crib Point Kringle game in the under-19s, we had a
goal umpire reported,
Yeah, so it is something that doesn't happen, obviously, very often. It's probably once or twice a season where we have to notify this. But the rule is it states where the boundary umpire or goal umpire has to notify a field umpire at the next stoppage of play. And then what happens is then the field umpire takes the protocol of obviously sending the player off. But no, the play stays the way it is. So no matter what circumstances it is.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you've apologised, and we've heard from Carl. Carl has made a public apology on behalf of the umpires, Brett. You've apologised to Pines. They're obviously very upset and disappointed. What sort of reaction have you got from them? And can you understand their frustration and disappointment?
Oh, 100%. I guess our probably one of the biggest mottos that we have as umpires is we don't influence a game of football. So hopefully what we want to try and do is never for that to happen. But I've actually spoken to Paddy Swain myself and touched base on it with him, and we've had a bit of a discussion about it. So, as I say, hopefully it never happens again.
Well, I haven't spoken to Paddy, but I wouldn't think that he'd be hanging the game on that decision. Obviously, there was a fair bit of time to go in the game, and Dramana won reasonably comprehensively in the end. It wasn't something.
It was a turning point.
It was a turning point.
It was.
They're playing senior football,
and their shoulder sagged and their psyche flagged a bit. I mean, we can ask Terry about that in a second. I mean, they deserve all the credit, Dramana, for winning the game.
100%.
But Brett, in regard to the umpires involved, I know it's a bit different to AFL level. You haven't got as many umpires to choose from. Do they, for want of a better expression, get a punishment? Are they told that it's probably not best that they umpire this week, or do, as you say, or as you said a little bit earlier on, just speak to them about making sure they understand every aspect of the game and every rule of the game, that it doesn't happen again?
Yeah, well, as I said, I'll touch base with these guys a bit more as a group now. I've spoken to couple of the guys individually, but I'll speak to them as a group, and we'll go over the scenario. I've got the footage of it all. So what we'll do is we'll work on that. Yes, they will be penalised for it for that reason. It's funny how we can drop a guy pretty convincingly for making a major blue like that in finals, but they may get a chance to run again, but obviously at senior level that probably won't happen.
Brett, really appreciate your time. It's been a tough week for the umpires. We all make mistakes. We can't have a game of footy without the umpires, and I think everyone realises that a mistake was made here. Whether it cost Pines the game, well, that's debatable, and that's what makes footy such a great game. Thanks for jumping on the line, and good luck on the weekend. Thanks for joining us.
No worries, guys. Cheers. Thank you.
See you, mate.
All the best.
Good on you, Brett Gent, who is the coach of the AFL Southeast Umpires Association, joining us. You happy with that particular response, Blakers?
What else can you say? I mean, he's been fantastic. They've come on board.
Yep.
They've both agreed that they've made a mistake, and you just got to move on with it.
Didn't they?
But one thing is, he said that he doesn't want the umpires being the centre of attention, which is great.
And they were.
That's right.
They own the error. You can't ask any more than that.
Now, Terry Wheeler's with us, the captain of Dramana. Terry, welcome. Are you frustrated that maybe you guys haven't been given enough credit for the win, that everyone's talking a lot about this umpiring decision, that it turned the game?
I think they've got credit.
Doesn't matter to me credit at all, to be honest. At the end of the day, look, we played a brand of footy that we thought could win and did win.
Well, and it's been able to win 3 times against Pines.
Correct.
Yep.
So it's not a fluke. It's happened 3 times, Dan.
Yeah, look, we don't really care about getting all credit for how we performed at the end of the day. We've won. We're into the next round, or the next game of finals, and all we're worried about is that next one. What happened last week is just irrelevant from here.
Were you surprised with the decision? Did you know the rules? Did all the players know the rules?
I honestly missed it. I didn't see what happened. I could see they were having some sort of discussion. I thought, maybe this could be turned around. And in some ways, I do feel for the umpires making the decision on the spot, because it might be a decision you make, once every 3 years sort of thing. Like,
if that,
Like it's really tough on them. And I honestly didn't know the rule. My gut feeling was I thought we'd get the free kick if they've got a player being sent off, but clearly I'm wrong as well. So, tough one for them. But, that's how it went.
What a great year for you guys so far, though, Terry.
Terrific,
We all look and think it's a great transition from Division 2, winning the flag, and then coming up now and a chance to go into a grand final.
Yep. Yeah, it's been huge. Last year, I think the big difference between the Division 2 and Division 1 is probably just the consistency in the teams. Yeah. So I got no doubt, last year Red Hill were super. I've got no doubt they'd be competitive in Division 1 as well. Kringle has obviously gone
sitting
really
on top
well.
of the ladder, do you think Red Hill will be?
Look, it's...
That's this idiot.
You are an idiot. Early in the year, I thought they'd play the best.
I didn't say
Footy on the peninsula.
I just asked the question, Dan.
Yeah, did you hear him say that?
No, what did he say?
He said after round 6 or 7 that Red Hill were the best team in both divisions, bar none.
Now, Terry, I can only go by...
That's your opinion, Dan.
Correct. I haven't seen anywhere near as much football as I've seen 10 weeks later, and I could only go by what I've seen, and I know maybe I might have got ahead of myself as I often do, but I just thought they were fantastic. But you guys, I've seen you quite a bit this year, and you just play great footy. You're playing for your coach. You're playing for each other. You're playing to your strengths. And, I mean, you lack a little bit of height, but it doesn't seem to be an issue, does it?
No, well, I mean, the great thing about this group is, although we're quite young, this group's been together for, probably 4 years now. So you look back to that 19 side that won the flag.
Won the flag.
Yeah, amazing group of kids coming through all at once, and that group has stayed together the whole way. And, you can build really successful sides around that. So, the height, we clearly don't have a lot of height, but, pace we have. So you style your game plan around your pace.
Of course you do. And especially on that ground last week at Rosebud.
Yes.
What
nice
a great...
and wide.
Beautiful ground.
Really happy with
guys.
it.
And do you like the Rye ground too?
Love Rye. Yeah, Rye is probably my favourite ground.
Is it really?
It's a great deck.
Yeah.
It's really good.
How old are you now?
I'm 27.
27.
Yep.
Your year has been unbelievable. I didn't see much of your play before this year, but your form...
Always been a great player.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask. Has it gone to a new level? Have you done anything different this year, or is it just...
No, I don't really do anything different. I think sometimes you just get into a little bit of a groove with your form, I suppose. I've been playing long enough now that I tend to keep a lot of things the same. Like, I don't really change it up or anything like that. If I'm going through a bit of a quiet patch, I'll generally try to stick to my guns and just go through it, grind it out, get back into some good form and continue on. So
it's been terrific.
Yeah.
I think everyone, like I even said it, was doing a President's Luncheon before Mornington were playing you guys and just saying how impressive it's been that you made that jump up and haven't skipped a beat.
Wonderful.
But still got that core group together that's going to be together for the next 4 or 5 years.
It gives other sides belief coming from Division 2 into Division 1.
Oh, definitely.
That it can all happen.
And there's no love lost between the two teams, is there? You've had a lot of football against each other before in the Nepean competition, Sorrento and Dramana. So it'd be great if you were to win this game. How do you beat them? They've been terrific again this year, haven't they? And they've had their certainly share of injuries and players being unavailable, etc.
They're a super side. They've been a really good side for a really long time.
Oh, long time.
Our rivalry starts all the way back in probably 2012, I reckon, when we played grand final against them. They beat us by 2 points in 12.
Yeah.
And then we played them again in 13 and we beat them by a fair bit. So we've always had a really good rivalry. They've just got some really great top players. I think it's from our perspective, it's really important that you can nullify their influence on the game and try and see who else can step up for them.
They kicked 8 or 9 goals in the first quarter at Dramana about 6 weeks ago.
With the wind.
Yeah, with the wind. I know it was with the wind, but then you outscored them for 3 quarters and won the game.
Yep.
And we're with them all the time down at Sereno as well.
Yeah.
That was a close game as well.
Yeah. They got the better of us towards the end of that Sereno game over there. But, at home,
I think we called that game, and I think your president, Chris Strange, said to us that just you didn't kick enough goals. That was the issue. You're pretty good for 3 quarters.
Usually happens,
folks,
doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, but that was the issue. You weren't able to finish it off. You idiots. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Yes.
No, we know. Thank you, Terry. The other two blokes always get stuck into me. It's good that I got a friend right here. Now, Kai Whitford and Josh Holloway have come from Langwarrin. Now, you've got a lot of players that they weren't able to give games to in the reserves, and it's a great story. There's a Liam McDonald who was really good, I thought, last week for Pines with his forward pressure, kicked a couple of goals, and Josh Holloway has come into the team, Ricky told me, late in the season at Dramana, and is now a permanent member of your senior side. Also couldn't get a go in the twos at Langwarrin.
It's funny how it works out sometimes in footy. You know, sometimes the balance just isn't quite right. Joshy, Kai, they've come in. First of all, their attitude towards their footy is just top notch, absolutely fantastic, which is what we're very strong at Dramana. And all they're doing is just playing their role. They're not necessarily getting the 30 touches and kicking bags of goals. There's other blokes that can sort of do that on our side, but what they are doing is doing exactly what we're telling them to. Playing their role. Joshy can stay out wide, be that release ball. Kai, he's a fantastic lead up the ground, and that's all. That's what it comes down to. We don't really need them getting 30 touches, so we're not really judging them on those sort of measures. It's just you guys have got your own little job to do. You go out and do that, and you'll get another game.
Have you got many guys to come back into the side?
Jay Hutchinson had a bit of a knee issue. Yeah, he had a bit of a knee issue, and he's very, very close.
Hasn't played for probably six weeks.
Yeah, it comes down to form a lot of the time, and if there's someone already in the team who's doing the same sort of role as what Jay would do, if he's playing well, it's hard to make changes. But luckily, I don't need to worry about that, mate. Ricky can sort that out.
That's his job, isn't it?
It's great that Big Ben Holmes has settled up again.
He's a ripper, isn't he? No, we're pretty happy when he decides to come back. So,
have you had much to do with the new coach for next year?
Yeah, Matty Price.
Yeah. He played in the premiership last year, of course.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. So, Matty's a ripper. Obviously he was around last year and won the flag with him, and credit to the way that they went about the coaching restructure this year and getting it done early, and letting the players know this is what's happening. We now know completely what's going on for season 2020.
Yeah, and it's just going to be like a transition over, isn't it?
Much easier.
Sounds like a YC model, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, Matty's fantastic. He's a ripper, so he'll bring in some new ideas, and really smart, switched-on fella, and he's got a really good relationship already with the players.
Good football brain, hasn't he?
Oh, super. Yeah, really good.
Well, Terry, great to have you with us. You've had an outstanding year. BAG in the last 3 games. You are really in career best form. Your team's in career best form. You're a big chance against Sorrento. We look forward to it. The winner through to a grand final in First Division. Of course, they'll play at Car Street. The loser will get another opportunity. We'll play the winner of the first semi on Sunday, and that is between Pines and Bond Beach. All thanks to Garley Trophy Centre. Good luck.
Thanks,
and we look forward to seeing you down there on Saturday. There'll be GameFace's match of the day at Rye in the First Division, the second semi-final between Sorrento and Dramana. We'll get on to Second Division in just a second. Brendan Dunn, the coach of Kooringal, they've had a good win last weekend. It was a magnificent first semi-final against Somerville. It was a goal fest. We'll talk more about that in just a second on our MPNFL First and Second Division Footy Show.
Rob Morrison, I'm General Manager of the Frankston RSL. We are located in 183.
And welcome back to the GameFace First and Second Division Footy Show, live from our Dandenong South studio. Dan Lonigan, Chris Holcomb, we're rolling beautifully. And also Tony Blackford, thanks to Garley Trophy Centre, and again another one of our favourites, who's a favourite of Chris Holcomb's as well. And I love watching him, particularly when the Kooringal team has a win. He sits back, he's very satisfied. He's got more ice packs on his knee than anyone I've ever met in my life. Again, he played a big role in his team's victory on the weekend. Brendan Dunn, the coach of Kooringal. Welcome, Dunny. Good to have you with us.
G'day, guys.
Hey, Dunny.
Good on you, Dunny.
I wouldn't have given you a call if I knew you were going to be on the show, mate.
Oh, cut it out. You just teed it all up
I was ringing before the show and I was trying to get a bit of... No, you're right, buddy.
Hey, it was a fantastic game of footy. What was it like playing it?
It's one of the better games I've played in. It's you don't often get games like that in finals. Actually, they're normally
not so high scoring, Dunny.
Yeah. So it was actually. I said to someone at work, it was one of the funner games of footy I've played in. Just both sides playing really good. Even our stats, I think we went at 70% efficiency, and some went at 61. So it was a pretty high quality game of local footy. So. Better than the AFL, actually, so it's only $13. So guys were putting on a show, and it was good. Gillis at one end and Holt at the other.
Oh, the G-man.
Fermanus and Hogenberg through the centre.
They're big, strong bodies, Hogenberg and Fermanus, aren't they?
Oh, star-studded.
Mate, they are stars. So Hogenberg, I've always said, ever since I started coaching Hastings, he's one of the best players, I think, on the peninsula. He's just so versatile. So he's a bull in the middle, and then
they really missed him last year, Dan.
They did.
Yeah.
Were you a bit
stronger than he was when he left?
Were you a bit worried, Brendan, when he went forward, one out? He just started to turn the game a bit in that second quarter, didn't he?
Yeah, we always talk about that when you come up against Somerville, that they'll do that at some stage. And last time we played him, he played pretty much 100% on the ball. And you try to plan for it, but he's one of those players that if he's hot and he's really feeling it, he's hard to stop because he's so strong and he's quite tall. But I mean, a lot of Somerville's entries were actually on the ground, and he was picking up the ground balls and shrugging some tackles, and he was looking very dangerous. He's definitely causing us some dramas, that's for sure.
Hey, Dunny, obviously with the finals playing on all sorts of different grounds, it's obviously debatable and people love it or hate it or whatever. Now
everyone hates it.
Shush, I'm trying to ask a question. Obviously, Mornington being a smaller ground, it's probably difficult to play on, but you're saying high scoring, it was high efficiency, it was a game of high quality. That's got to be a good thing, doesn't it?
Definitely for finals. I think Mornington's one of those grounds. It's small, but I don't know what it is about that ground, but you tend to find space at Mornington, whereas grounds like Seaford and Chelsea, it's a bit harder to find space. But yeah, it's always high scoring. Every game I've ever been involved with, where we've played at Mornington's been a pretty high scoring game. So I think that's good for the supporters. It's a bit stressful when you're a coach, though. It's just when you think you're...
especially when you're coaching from the sideline.
It would have been better on the body, though.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to go too far.
What's that?
You wouldn't have to go too far. It would have been better on the body, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's right. You just sort of trundle out 20 metres.
Just swan around.
Just trundle back, yeah. I don't mind Mornington. Look, I personally would like to play every final at Frankston, but... just my...
Don't start blocking.
Come on.
As a local footy player, you just...
everyone wants to get down there, Dunny.
Playing on Frankston Park. So,
yeah.
But, if you can't do it, then, it's good to play on different venues. It would have been interesting, because the final this week, the prelims at Somerville, so I don't know what was going to happen there. I guess that's something they've got to look at.
Well, they've got the junior finals down there on the Sunday at Frankston Park.
Yeah, because obviously
the junior finals.
Yeah, they should be. We've been through this. They should be having preliminary finals in the first and second division, definitely at Frankston Park. If they're not going to have all the finals,
don't start.
I'd have them all, but I mean, we know why they're not doing it because of the netball, and the netball adds to the atmosphere. And just on the netball, before we look at Mark Holt, Brendan, I mean, that's been a great success for your football club, netball club, because the girls are winning and they've made their way through to grand final. So I suppose you can understand the league's attitude there that the netball's such a big part of the football club as well, particularly if you're having success.
It is, it's definitely changed the landscape of local footy, I think, for the better, and more community, family-based sort of sides now, and I think a fair few of our boys went up Saturday and watched all the netball before watching sort of the Langy Red Hill game, which was really good. It is great having the girls there, mate, so obviously if you're lucky enough to have netball in at the same time as footy, it does help where supporters can just go from, they walk 10 metres, 15 metres, and they can go watch the girls, and just turn their heads and watch the footy. So that element of it's definitely better, for sure.
And we were watching Mark Holt, 11 goals. Did you get the impression before the match that he was ready to tie a big one on?
Yeah, he's been working really hard. He's obviously had a quiet second half of the year, but one thing is he's a very proud footballer. So he gets really upset and when he doesn't perform, and he's actually a very passionate person. So he's probably not doing himself any justice the last sort of month, just getting in his head too much, like he almost trying too hard to perform. And then I knew he'd be due round the corner some stage because he's been training really hard and he's been working on his marketing and training. And you think someone like that would just rock up on a Saturday and it just happens naturally. But he actually works really hard. He's quite proud when he's not performing. So I'm really glad for him that he could show. And when he's up and about, obviously you see the passion that he brings to our footy side. It's really good. So he's not just a good player. He's actually a bit of a barometer in terms of our spirit.
And Danny, it was great that Robinson kicked 3 as well.
Mate, I was talking to Danny about him before.
2 finals have just been incredible.
Yeah, terrific.
So sort of saying Robin's had a really interrupted season, which is unfortunate for him and us, but we're sort of... missing that Pearsdale game was a bit of a funny one because Robbo was going to play that game to get a run in before the finals. So he ended up having an extra week coming off that calf. So even his first final, given that he hadn't actually played footy for 7 weeks, his touch was incredible, and then he took it to the next level again on the weekend. And he's been great too. His leadership's been really good in this final series. So. That's what you want, though, isn't it? When you're a coach, you want your players stepping up in big games. So it's good.
What about Matt Stanley now? He didn't get through last week. He did kick a goal early. He was still hopeful when I spoke to him after the game. I did a little bit of a roaming Dan in the rooms afterwards.
I saw that.
Dan, did you go in the rooms?
I did go in the rooms.
What about
where are you going with this?
No, because we had a guest on here quite a while ago, the Donk.
Oh, yes.
You didn't actually see the Donk in action, did you?
You saw the Donk? Yeah, I might have accidentally seen the Donk.
Accidentally, or...
Was it impressive, Dan?
Shouldn't have been in the shower, Dan.
All I'll say is some are well looked after, some are not. And the Donk's done well, hasn't he?
I'd say you were speechless, Dan.
You can say that, Brendan. This is a family show. I'm getting very red in the face here. But is Matt any chance of coming back this week? Matt Stanley.
Yeah, look, I spoke to Neil Barn before. It was just a bit of awareness. So.
Neil Barn, was it? Bit of awareness.
Bit of awareness. You're an idiot.
I'm always pretty honest. He'll be touch and go. It was tight. He hasn't done it, and he's sort of. Last week was probably a week early, if we're being really honest. So, it'll be touch. He'll try to train tomorrow night, and if he gets through, he'll be playing, and if he doesn't, he won't be. So, at this stage, it is tight, and it's touch and go. It's probably 50-50. I know he was at the physio today, so.
And talking of training, obviously there's an issue with the cricket pitch with the sinkhole. How disconcerting has that been, being able to train and being able to prepare for finals?
Oh, mate, it's great fun training in a 10-metre circle. It's really good. So,
how much of a hole has it left, Dunny?
Oh, so the sinkhole, it's sort of big. We've got to have to dig it out to find the top of it.
Really?
They filled it with sand, but it's sunken again because obviously the sand wasn't compacted and stuff. But then, rocked up Monday night to have a look at the ground, and the cricket pitch had been ripped up. So the whole centre sort of bit of the ground's fenced off as well now. So, it is what it is, man. You've just got to get on with it. And we've got places we can go and train, but the other thing is, like, we're really trying to build a relationship with our juniors, and they're all coming up for dinner tomorrow night and watching the seniors train.
Good.
And
that's great.
So you can't go to other venues because then you miss out on those opportunities to get the juniors involved, and they can come out and help us at training and all that sort of stuff. We've actually had an under-13s kid training with us for the second half of the year.
Good.
Just because he wants to, and he doesn't get in the way, and he's really good, and we love him. So, if we go to another venue to train, we miss out on those opportunities, which I think are really important for Kringle Footy Club to build the relationships with the juniors. Given it hasn't been we don't have the influx of kids like other clubs do. So it is what it is, mate. At the end of the day, if you look at it, it's not going to affect your game on Saturday. It's just you can use it as an excuse if you want to, but it's not really doesn't nor here nor there for me, mate.
And
it's all good. It's part of the process.
One more before we let you go. Just on this week, how do you find a way of improving your output from a couple of weeks ago when Langy were far too good and you just couldn't kick a goal?
Yeah, we were terrible in that first final, and I've put that on record elsewhere too. We're quite soft. I thought at the ball, and Langy smashed us in uncontested possession, loose ball marks and stuff like that. So we beat Langy early in the year, and then Langy have got us the last two times. I think we match up really well against each other, the two sides. We've got different strengths and weaknesses, and it's just a matter of whether we can. I think the side that'll win will be the side that can shut the other team's game style down the most. I think both teams have the ability to score heavily and quickly. So you're obviously going to try to minimise that, and then when you don't have momentum, making sure that the side Langwarrens are going to get 3, 4, 5 goals on the board when they've got the momentum, trying to just stop them to 1 or 2 when they've got the momentum, and then when it swings, obviously we try to score heavily there. So there's a few things we've spoken about and addressed from the first final that we tried on the weekend that seemed to work. But granted, it was a different opposition and different players and different game styles. So can't wait to see how it goes this weekend.
Yeah,
got a mastermind there helping him out. Blackers is involved.
Yeah, well, he'll be there. You notice he's got very quiet here, Brendan. Really appreciate your time.
Just taking it all in, Danny.
Yeah, we can't wait. It's a huge opportunity, a prize, obviously a grand final spot against Red Hill. Thanks so much for your time and good luck on the weekend. Should be an absolute ripper.
See you, mate.
See you, mate.
Brendan Dunn, the coach of Coringal, after he played a big role in his team's terrific win. They were good on the weekend.
And he did play an important role because he played as a forward and it really helps. And what he brings to the table is his leadership more than anything.
He does, absolutely. And obviously with Mark Holt doing well with 11, it was a great game of footy. And I thought Somerville, and we'll have Brad Canavan part of our coverage for the grand final this year in second division. I thought he coached well. I thought he led well, and they had a great season. So well done to Somerville as well. Full credit to them. Now, absolutely. We'll come back and have a look at the Langwarren side of the story. They were well beaten by Red Hill on the weekend. They get another crack at it, looking to try and get through to the grand final. That's next on the GameFace First and Second Division Footy Show. We're live from Dandenong South.
Peninsula Safety is a local family-run and operated business established in 2006 on the Mornington Peninsula. We service all types of business across all industries Australia-wide, offering personalised uniform and footwear fit-outs and personally packaging complete orders. We offer a wide range of services to all types of industries and businesses. Services include screen print and promotional product branding, and in-house embroidery and digital transfers. If you mention this video, you'll receive 10% off on clothing and footwear in store. Some conditions apply. So our store is located in Yules Road in Mornington, open 6 days a week. Please contact us via phone or directly through our website.
Hi, Mark Petter from Petter Suspension and Brakes, family Australian owned.
And welcome back to the GameFace Footy Show, First and Second Division, live from Dandenong South, Dan Lonigan, Tony Blackford and Chris Holcomb with you. We've looked at the Coringal side of the story for the preliminary final against Langwarren. The winner will play Red Hill in the grand final. One of our favourites is Tim McGuinness. Had a great year for Langwarren. Unfortunately for Langy on the weekend, they played well in spurts against Red Hill, but weren't able to probably do enough damage with the wind. But Tim McGuinness has been good enough to join us on the phone. Welcome, Tim. Good to have you with us.
G'day, boys. How you going?
Timmy.
Going well.
Hello, Timmy.
Well, how would you describe last weekend? I thought there were some good signs, but maybe didn't use the wind as well as you would have liked, especially the third quarter.
Yeah, definitely. You put it well there. But no, Red Hill is such a good side. And as I said when I came on the show during the year, you've got to play 120 minutes against them. And we just didn't do that again.
And then in the second quarter...
They score so quickly.
Yeah, and in the second quarter, Tim, like up until about the 20-minute mark, they were only on 2-5, and then they've... kicked 3 or 4 goals to hit the lead at half-time.
Yeah, exactly, and that was just demoralising for us, really. And then the third quarter, we took a while to score again in the third quarter, then we piled on a few quick ones. And then even in the last quarter, we're battling hard, but we just couldn't put scoreboard pressure on, and then they just went bang, bang, bang. But they're such a good side across the whole board that you can't afford to have any lapses, and unfortunately we did, and yeah, that was the end
and
of it.
Their midfield was really strong, Tim, and they just seemed to gut run a bit stronger than the Langwarrin boys on the weekend.
Yeah, definitely, and Blake said that, and as a midfield group, I think they're meeting earlier tomorrow night before training just to meet about what did go wrong, because I think Red was dominant in the hit-outs, but they smashed us in the clearances, and just even on the possession count, they had far more touches than us. We had a ridiculous amount in single-figure touches, which really does come down
and just
to
the
work rate.
effectiveness, like the effectiveness of your ball use compared to theirs was far better.
But yeah, as I said, I think that's just above the shoulders for us, really, because every time we play them, we seem to go in our shell and not take the game on and play our Langwarrin style, really. So that's something we need to address. And really, if we win this weekend against Coringal, we've got to just take the game on against Red Hill the following week. But hopefully we get another crack at them.
Now, Jono Ross kicked 5. He's in great form. Obviously back to some of his best. Found it hard to stop him. I think
He kicked 3 late in the game, Dan. But
junk time, you reckon, mate?
Well, not junk time, but he did kick 3 in that last quarter.
I think we might have lost him, but anyway, look, that's fine. It's good to have a chat to him. Jet Murphy kicked 3
I think he had a dinner date.
Did he? Yeah, he did. I think it's dumplings tonight.
Dumplings,
with Billy Ralph, that's
with
right.
Billy Ralph and dumpling
I've been
night.
asked by Billy and his girlfriend to have
as a threesome?
To go out and have dumplings with them. Billy did ask me when we interviewed him a few weeks ago, not as a threesome, you idiot. Jet Murphy kicked 3 for Langwarrin. He's not having the best season, is he?
Well,
he's had a lot of injuries, hasn't he?
he did, and he's he performed really well on the weekend, Jed. Well, I mean, you've got a dirty mind, mate.
I do. That was
what do they need to do to get another crack at them? I mean, obviously, they played really well against Coringal a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Are you confident, confident they can get the job done?
That's a couple of weeks ago now, Dan. So they've got to focus off Red Hill and get back onto the track and start working towards Coringal.
Yep,
Coringal
definitely.
This week will be done. The one thing about Brendan Dunn is that he will have looked at how Langwarrin has beaten Coringal the last 2 times, and he will be saying, and he said to us on air that Coringal were really soft against him last time, and Langwarrin were a lot more physical, and you can guarantee you this week, Dan, that Coringal will come out and be very physical. They're a very good, strong side, and I think that their inside work is very good and strong.
And expect Coringal to kick the ball better, Hulks, to Mark Holt. They were kicking it on his head, as Brendan Dunn said after the game on Sunday. Cuthbert was brilliant. Gee, he was sensational. And you were at that game, and you kept saying how good he was with his closing speed and the way he was punching away at the right time.
Yeah,
but, I mean, they've got to use the ball better.
Yeah, they do, to an extent. But there was some hits that were going out to him. He's a fantastic young player.
He is.
He's a real good player.
And from that first contest at the 40-second mark of the first quarter, he got that reach, you know.
Whack.
And did the inclusion of Gerard Brown, Buff?
Well,
Gerard.
I thought he was really good for him on the weekend. He kicked a goal or 2, and he just presented really well. I think his second half he faded a little bit, but early on he was very good for him.
You're exactly right, though. If you think, or if Joshy Beard thinks and Blake thinks that Coringal are going to come out and dish up the same stuff that they did on that first final,
it's going to be completely different.
Completely different. They've got some confidence now. I mean, Brendan Dunn's got some games under his belt. We know Robinson's got some games under his belt. As Brendan mentioned, they still hope that Stanley will get back. Kellerman will be better this week. Cal Dixon will be better this week.
Ruck option.
Well, Justin Farrell, he played.
I thought he was really good, Justin Farrell. He just made a contest.
He looked like a hobbling old man in the reserves the week that we went and watched.
Yeah.
And then Dunny said he contributed well last week.
He did.
Another week. I think he's got like that bone on bone stuff. But he's a lot smarter ruckman.
He's a good ruckman.
Yeah, he'll be able to body on Red.
He's a big, strong boy.
And he basically rucked on his own because Somerville had the 3 of them. They could use McDonald, Noel Young, and Tom Roberts back up
on that smaller ground of Mornington. You can get away with one ruckman. And Summy's the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
So who wins? Obviously, you think Langy will win. What do you think? I'm referring to you, Blackers, because you'll be there helping out in the coach's dugout, won't you?
Yeah, I just think that this game will be a real close game. It'll be like that, probably not as high scoring as it was on the weekend for Somerville and Kringle. I think it'll be a bit tighter than that. I think both sides will be really strong and defensive, and it'll be the side who makes the most of their opportunities. Hogs.
Big day for Kringle. 3 teams, of course, in the preliminary finals that try and make their way through to a granny.
I think it's going to be a great game because when you play each other in a final early on and it's not sudden death, there's obviously some things that you don't do, but this is it's game on. And I reckon Kringle will come to play. Saying that, I don't think they can overcome Langwarrin in the way they played in that first final that they played each other. They were too quick. Holt was well held, and I don't think, even with good delivery, that Holt's going to get off the chain at all this week. No. He's going to be held.
I think Langwarrin are a bit quicker on that outside, aren't they?
100%. And their avenues to goal, I think, might have to change because if Holt's getting beaten, they've got to get him from somewhere else.
Robinson.
And if Stanley,
this has been their issue. Going into the semi-final last week, it was Holt 64, and then Michael Burke had kicked 13 and my man Dale Alanis had kicked 12.
So they need to find it. And don't think
Dunny's
not...
Dale Alanis.
Don't think that Dunny's not thinking about it and saying, look, if we get Dunny in this position, we need to find other avenues to goal. And they're going to try and... even if Stanley doesn't play, is it Burke, is it whoever it is...
Burke and Gardner and... Robinson and Dunn were all down there.
Yeah.
And thanks to Swiss Locker, the first division tips Saturday. Yeah, go on, Black.
It's going to be a nice weekend again.
Beautiful, yep.
And with Big Brown down there.
Gerard down.
Payne and Ball.
Yeah.
And Jet Murphy.
Very
There's three big tools down there that...
Gregson will get one of them, but
he gets one of them.
Yeah.
That's right.
Definitely got more options forward, Langwarrin. That's why I think that they'll get the jockeys
I think Langy might. It'll be a great game of footy, though. Looking forward to it. And what about First Division, second semi, Sorrento and Dramana? Sorrento have had the week off.
Yeah.
And they had the week off last year and Pines beat them in a ripper. Dramana must be some chance down at right. Should be a beauty.
Yeah, Dramana are fantastic. We've all said how great Dramana have been this year, how impressive their players are, how good they've stuck together. They're not going to beat Sorrento.
No, I don't
think so.
They will. I think Sorrento
they'll have a crack. And just watch out just in case we got any report on whether Gibson will play, because I'm pretty sure that he'll be back around this time of year.
And Hallahan got through that match
Hallahan got through
okay. Amazing.
So he'll play again. So whether or not Gibson does, I think they'd like to give him a run if he's close before they play in the
They reckon
granny.
he's closer than first thought, considering it was a hammy off the bone.
That's what I've heard.
Gibson.
But in this game, I think Sorrento should start favourites.
They will start favourites.
Yeah.
And who advances, Pines or Bond Beach? I think Sorrento will win, by the way.
I think Pines...
Yeah, I think they can just get the job done. But Bond Beach play like they played in that first quarter against YCW, no one will touch them.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if Bond Beach won. But how do you have to go off their record of what they've done this year, and Bond Beach pulled one out of the box, but they've all got...
What about that game up at Bond Beach early in the year, and you were there as well, and... They didn't have any Bongo, no Aaron Edwards, and
beat them easy.
Yeah,
beat them easy. So you're going off that, Pines, even if Aaron doesn't play. But like I said, you wouldn't be surprised if Bonnie gets up. McDonald can have a day out again, and he can do anything.
And just before we go, we've got the awards night, of course, on Tuesday. Women's awards night on Monday at Mornington. GameFace will be covering it Tuesday at the Mornington Race Club at the same venue on both nights.
Big week.
Tuesday's league medal night, is it?
It is, correct.
Tuesday night.
That's what I've been told. Yep. It's a massive night. Yep.
It's on the training night of the...
That's right.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Because it's always been on a Monday night,
it is.
Dan.
Well, I've been told Tuesday night.
Oh.
But anyway, who do you think will win the First Division best and fairest?
Sean Downey.
Sean Downey? Yeah, I agree, Sean Downey.
Oh, yeah, Mitch will poll really
Mitch
well.
Hallahan.
Because
I'll go Mitch Hallahan.
Yeah, but
well, I'm going Sean Downey.
Yeah.
And what about second division?
Tim McGuinness.
Yeah, Timmy's had a
Or
really
Danny
good
Alsop.
year. Yeah, Danny
They've
Alsop.
both had a great year, haven't they?
Yeah, nice.
It's going to be very hard to pick it.
Yeah,
no idea.
Yeah, no.
I think Fermanus will go close.
He missed a little bit of footy and had a few flat spots.
But he's still been very good. Yeah. His best has been probably best.
Hoganberg's probably going to take a lot of votes off him because he was great as well.
Yeah, Hoganberg has been good.
And
all right, boys.
Yep, and G-Man with that head might get a few votes.
Oh, I'd love it. He was good last week, too, kicking 4 goals. It's been a great show. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to all our guests. Thanks to Nick for making it happen. Glenn and also Plugger as well. Good on you, Blackers. Good on you, Hulks. Enjoy the footy. And Hulks will be down there on Saturday.
Yes.
Get your game face on down at Rice. Sorrento and Dramana, the second semi in First Division. The winner through to the grand final. Have a great week in footy.
Hi, I'm Fraser Bain, and this is Kane Luff. We're directors of O'Brien Real Estate in Mornington. A pretty exciting story. On the 1st of February this year, two businesses came together, being O'Brien Real Estate Mornington and Conley Luff, which is a very well-established brand in the Mornington market. Together, Kane and I merged, and we bought the business was formerly known as Ray White, now to make us the #1 listing and sales agency in the Mornington region, comprising of residential sales,